you are not an Arsenal fan.
If I am
no, you are not an Arsenal fan. No, Favor, you are not an Arsenal fan.
It's a comparison.
Yes.
Arsenal
I
likes to
understand
do
seemingly.
late
I did
things.
figure of speech.
As late as Arsenal. Cleveland Cavaliers were each gave you the point. That's 118. That was a win against Boston Celtics. Detroit Pistons, lost at home to Portland Trail Blazers 104 to 110 at 10. Indiana Pacers won or lost their game to Philadelphia 76ers, 143 points, 147 points. Miami brought the heat against Atlanta Hawks, 130 to 128. Denver Nuggets did a good margin against Toronto Raptors, 118 points to 113, while Sacramento Kings won at home against New Orleans Pelicans, 120. 3 points to 108.
Okay, well, remember, games are still going in the NBA as we have more games go down tomorrow morning, 1 a.m. Detroit Pistons against Washington Wizards. Milwaukee Bucks will be on the road against Orlando Magic. Minnesota Timberwolves take on Philadelphia 76ers. New York Knicks against Charlotte Hornets. Houston Rockets battling Brooklyn Nets, 2 a.m. Same time, Golden State Warriors will be up against Oklahoma City Thunders as the Utah Jazz will be up against Dallas Mavericks by 2:30. 4 a.m.
LA Lakers will be taking on Memphis Grizzlies. I need to shout
you shouldn't have taken that fixture because I know you have bad mouth. And then they will beat LA Lakers. You'll be here tomorrow. Okay, you can take the show alone tomorrow. Just take the you cannot be here with me.
Okay, should we bet?
You take it. No. You cannot come up with that. I should be the one asking you for a bet.
Should we bet?
No.
Should LA Lakers lose tomorrow, I take the show alone. It's going to be in your favor.
No. No, I will be here to take my show. Okay, well, remember the Indian Wells Masters qualification ongoing, as we also have, some other games. We've got that of Antalya, Turkey, ATP Challenger. We have Lugano, ATP Challenger in Switzerland. We'll move away from tennis this morning and let us talk football. Not really a good night for Nigeria's under-20 national team, as a lost 1-0 against their opponent from Gambia. I knew that the Nigerian under-20 national team may not get to the final. This is the reason. The media officer of the team and, are saying that they've already achieved their aim. Oh, you also read the story, right?
It's not about reading the story. I felt as though that was what they needed. They just needed that ticket, and they got it.
We said the same thing here. Was it on Saturday or last week Wednesday? I can't even remember. Looking at that story saying that their aim is to qualify for the Global Football Showpiece. And so I was telling someone yesterday, you don't have to just overstress yourself because this team didn't play like they needed that win. You understand? All they wanted was to get a qualification ticket. But where they fail to understand is, if you don't win titles, that record will be there. You understand? Because now you failed to get to top 2 finish on the continent and you are going to the world, and how do you think they'll rate you?
Well, they can't finish top 3 actually. I don't see the next threat big one for them actually.
Okay, Favor has spoken. My Favor speaks, but she doesn't know how to bet. All right, now let's go straight and talk about English Premier League. Remember, one game decided last night. It was Brentford beating Fulham 3-2. And, Iver Toney, he continued his impressive penalty scoring record on Monday. But the Brentford striker says his method is simple. Maybe you have to teach some players how to score penalties, right? But now let's talk about Bernard Leno, who has already pushed and touted the Gunners to lift the Premier League title.
Well, he says there is no bad blood after his Arsenal departure as he backed the Gunners to lift the Premier League title. Well, Those comments are about him leaving politics influencing his departure, subsequent move to Fulham ahead of the season. Those comments that took Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta by surprise. But, I said that, well, I'm backing Arsenal for the title.
Well, if he's backing Arsenal for the title, sometimes you can also feel like, how I wish I stayed back. Maybe if you had stayed back, Arsenal would have been where they are this season.
One person's, loss. That person's, advantage and win.
I get it right. Okay, now move away, but another update talking about games in England. Remember, after the 7-0 bashing of Manchester United,
Tommy,
we are getting updates.
If Tommy's listening to me right now, I promised him that I was going to keep talking about this until I see him in the studio next Saturday.
Oh, you're talking about Tommy?
Yes.
Tommy, your friend.
Tommy of SSS.
Okay. Yes,
I
know.
You
don't need to tell. I know. Okay, so Bruno Fernandes will not face any action from the FA after an incident involving an assistant referee during Sunday's Premier League game between Liverpool and Manchester United that ended 7-0. Eric Ten Hag's side conceded 6 goals in the second half in a stunning collapse at home of their biggest rivals. Well, during that difficult second half for United, Fernandes, who was at the center of a number of controversial incidents, appeared to nudge the official in the back near the touchline during Liverpool's historic victory at Anfield.
And that's historic because now people are already saying 24 hours makes one day, 7 days make you.
Wow, come on. No. Well, we wish Manchester United all the best. I spoke to Kolajo Alfred yesterday, and he said he had sore throat, so he couldn't speak up.
Even Olex has been missing in action.
Oh yes, Olex also said he had. Okay, the only person we saw yesterday was Ijoba.
And Rotiba.
And Rotiba. Oh yes, I noticed that Rotiba too.
Very quiet.
No, Rotiba could not eat yesterday.
My God.
Okay, but now we move away from that. Let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. Games are going down tonight, and well, for the games going down tonight, Chelsea will be in action, and it's also going to be a game that is coming thick and fast after they got a 1-0 victory over Leeds United over the weekend. However, Joao Felix insists that under pressure, Graham Potter still has the backing of the Chelsea players. Chelsea will look to ease the burden of head coach Porter by raising a 1-0 deficit in the crucial second leg of the Champions League last 16 tie against informed Borussia Dortmund tonight.
Well, the Champions League remains the club's only realistic chance of saving their season, with the club already out of both domestic cups and lying 10th comfortably in the Premier League despite a 1-0 win over Leeds on Saturday. That's their only second victory in 12 matches. I have to emphasize that.
Okay, you have to do
I was surprised by Chelsea on Saturday.
There's just 1-0, right? But 1-0, not 3 points. But here is Graham Potter speaking ahead of the game against Borussia Dortmund, saying, well, the victory over Leeds United will surely support the boys to go all the way, claim a victory tonight.
Well, it's always nice to win, that's for sure. And everybody's happier when we do. But we also know we've got a big challenge ahead. So as much as we're pleased with the win at the weekend, we now want to follow it up with another win on Tuesday night. So that's where the focus is. Well, I think the position we're in, you should always welcome the pressure, because it means you're in a fantastic situation, which is to compete for the last 8 of the Champions League. It's a wonderful competition. It's going to be a special night. It was a special occasion in Dortmund, and I'm sure it'll be the same at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. So there's nothing else to say apart from that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to playing the game. We're looking forward to competing to go through, because it's a fantastic competition and we want to progress.
Well, Chelsea, Borussia Dortmund going down at the Stamford Bridge. Benfica will be up against Club Brugge also tonight. Now, talking about Benfica, one man has been talking concerning that game, and that is coming from Roger Smith. Benfica may no longer be considered as a European heavyweight, but that will not stop Roger Smith from dreaming of an unlikely Champions League success. The Benfica coach declared nothing is impossible when the question was posed at the premiere Liga sides' hopes in the UEFA top club competition this season. Smith's men host the Club Rouge at the second leg of the Champions League last 16 tonight, boasting a 2-0 lead from the first meeting in Belgium. But hey, anything can happen, like he said. That you are leading 3-0 does not mean that you not concede 4-0. Right, but you have to be focused.
I'm focusing on those.
Yes, you have to be focused.
I'm not protesting, actually.
Okay, so well, remember also tonight we have the Europa Conference League clash between Lazio and AZ Alkmaar going down in Italy. Right? All right, guys, we have to wrap up from this side. I move to the other side of the show where we look at updates from the pages of Nigerian newspapers. Same as burning issue. Nigerian Police Force has been talking planned ahead of the March 11 governorship polls. My name is Oladapo Kunubi.
And it's Favor or Lauren Tola.
Yo, what's up?
Do not touch that dial. You know the radio you tune to, it's your Remedy dial, 93.9 Solutions FM. Your number one Remedy dial.
Ìrírí ṣàgbọ́dọ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò ṣeé fowó ra làwọn àgbà fi ní ẹni tó bá mọ̀nà ló tọ́ ló sì yẹ ká tẹ̀lé torí irú ẹni bí ò ní gbé wa wọgbó kò sì ní fẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́ pàlàpàlàpà irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ nílò ní báyìí ire ti dé sípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àdúrà wa ti gbà Ọlọ́run ti mú sẹ́nitọ́ Teslim Kọ́láwọlé Fọlárìn TKF dé ẹni tọ́rọ̀ ìlú àti ìṣèlú yé ni ìlọsíwájú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló jẹ́ lógún bí mẹ̀kúnnù ó ṣe ráyè ìrọ̀rùn gbé nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ làfojúsùn rẹ̀ ìrírí rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà l'Àbújá ti jẹ́ kó mọ gbogbo ibi tó ti lè mú ìdàgbàsókè wá sípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ tòótọ́ ìwòsàn ọ̀fẹ́ tí ò lákùdé iṣẹ́ aláṣẹlà lọ́pọ̀ yanturu ìdàgbàsókè iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ohun ìgbèríko rẹpẹtẹ sẹ́nitọ́ Teslim Kọ́láwọlé Fọlárìn ló lè ṣe é nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú onítẹ̀síwájú APC torí náà tó bá dijọ́ òbò sẹ́nitọ́ Teslim Kọ́láwọlé Fọlárìn ni ẹ dìbò fún APC lẹ́gbẹ́ wa òṣìṣẹ́ ọ̀wọ̀ làmí ẹ̀ ibẹ̀ ni ẹ tẹ̀ka sí amòfin lọ́wọ́ Òbíṣẹ̀san ló ń kéde.
Keep it 93.9. Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
ká dúpẹ́ oore lẹ́ni tá a ṣe lóore fi mọ rírì ẹ̀ ní ẹ ṣeun àdúpẹ́ gbogbo wa lẹ́kùn ìdìbò Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District ọwọ́ tọ́ ní mọ́wọ́tọ̀ wà ní Barrister Sharafadeen Abiodun Ali fi gbéṣẹ́ àgbàgbé fún mi ó ní ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa fún bá a ti túyáyá jáde dìbò fóun tóun sì wọlé sípò sẹ́nitọ̀ lẹ́kùn ìdìbò Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District ẹni anígbàgbọ́ nínú rẹ̀ láàyàn láṣojú ẹni ẹ ṣeun àdúpẹ́ ó wá ń ṣe ládùúrà fún gbogbo wa pé lásìkò tá a dìbò fóun sípò sẹ́nitọ̀ yìí ewé ajé wa ò ní sunkún re dalẹ́ ewé rẹ̀ wa ò ní sunkún re dòwúrọ̀ tígitọ̀pẹ̀ ni ó ṣe léjìdé ìwéré ìkórè òkòrìtọ̀ gbogbo wa wá o Barrister Sharafadeen Abiodun Ali ló ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa lẹ́kùn ìdìbò Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District pé ẹ ṣeun àdúpẹ́ o. BSA.
A very good morning to you. Exactly 20 minutes gone past 9 right here on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9. Welcome to From the Dailies, where we take you on a tour and different stories making the rounds in our nation, Nigeria. My name is Victory Richard.
Well, I've got with me Punch and the Nation newspapers this morning. My name is Oladapo Okunubi. And when you call that name in full, it shows that maybe you want to get something from me. But hey, let's look at headlines this morning. Well, we've got different headlines coming from different Nigerian newspapers this morning, most especially the protest that came from PDP yesterday in Abuja when they went to INEC office. And we are also getting different reactions, parties merging in different states ahead of the governorship polls going down on March 11. I mean, this coming Saturday. Well, in Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu is trying to put things together to fight against the Labour and the PDP and retain the seat of the governorship position. Okay, so where do we start from? We start with the Nation newspaper. Well, looking at the headlines are coming from the Nation newspaper this morning, Tuesday, and that is the 7th day in the month of March. The cap headline: INEC to reconfigure beavers for governorship assembly elections. CBN tackles IMF's claim on anchor borrowers' loans. 98 senators elect, 325 reps elect to get COR today. That is certificate of return. Olanipekun 49 others to defend Tinubu's mandate. APC PDP clash over presidential poll results. Buhari seeks duty-free access for least developed countries. Banner headline this morning: Naira scarcity lingers despite Supreme Court's judgment. Riders to that headline: no cash at banking hall, ATM points. Banks await CBN's directive on old notes. And we have the front page picture seeing Nigerians queuing up at different banks awaiting Naira. Why Oyo LP dumped candidate for Makinde? Igbo Group canvasses support for Sanwo-Olu. This and more you can find on the Nation newspaper.
Alright, away from the Nation, let's now move to the Vanguard newspaper. Gunmen kill pastor, 2 sons in Plateau. Check that story on page 6. Naira redesign, banks obey Supreme Court, pay old notes. CSO's orders kick against Rep Majority Leader, Doguwa gets bail. Now to the banner headline: on polls, Tinubu lashes out as Atiku leads protests in Abuja. Diphtheria outbreak kills 61 in Kano. Check that story on page 6 as well. We need 869 billion naira to conduct census. Federal government is making that statement. Army probes soldiers, killing of unit commander, orders in Sokoto. Presidential poll, INEC sees variation of inspection order granted to Obi and Atiku. NMPP Kanu government bicker over plots to disrupt gubernatorial election. Gambia dump flying eagles out, and that's on sports. To health, IVF doesn't always lead to multiple birth. These are the stories on the Vanguard newspaper.
Don't handle education like Buhari, ASU tells Tinubu. Government seek 327 billion naira donor funding for census. Okay, looking at another headline here. Atiku vows to extend protest, demands results cancellation. And the pocket headline on the Punch newspaper: INEC challenges Atiku, Obi's suit on beavers. So it is now, we have 2 battles now. 3 battles: LP versus INEC and Tinubu or APC. PDP versus INEC, Tinubu, APC. And now we have INEC versus Atiku, Obi. Supreme Court orders on old note. Banks in partial compliance. Begins calenary circulation. But we read from the Nation that they are still waiting CBN's order. But riders to these headlines: few banks pay owed 500, 1,000 naira on Monday. Others await directives as Emefiele keeps mum. And most ATMs remain dry. Skeptical bank customers. Traders reject old notes from banks. Okay. Whitney Chrisland seeks autopsy review. Inquest begins April 4. 53rd killed as suspected herdsmen invade Benue communities. 203 hoodlums arrested during presidential polls. Police. And these are all the headlines and more that you can find from the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, let's now move to the final paper, the Nigerian Tribune, beginning with the story. As Atiku Ayu lead protest, PDP makes 5-point declaration to INEC on presidential poll. Says uploading results after declaration affront a Nigerians' sensibilities. We have no allegiance to candidate or party. Electoral umpire making that statement. That's the banner headline and riders to that, which you can find on page 4. Many Nigerian politicians are mere opportunists. Bishop is making that statement. INEC wants to reconfigure beavers for gubernatorial election, and that's the story on the Nigerian Tribune as well this morning. Praise courts to vary order on inspection of electoral materials. Read up on that on page 4. Some banks begin payment of old 500, 1,000 notes in Lagos, Abuja, and Delta State. 10th Assembly, Senators, Reps, APC, NWC to meet Tinubu over choice of principal officer. As Senate presidency, pendulum swings towards southeast. Read up on that story on page 3. On Saturday, March 11, cast your vote for... Okay, I think this is a paid...
No, take it, man. Sunday on day, continue. I didn't know listening to you.
All right, these are the stories you can find on the Nigerian Tribune. Do remember that we are live on Facebook as well as YouTube, so jump in on the platform and lend your thoughts regarding some of these stories, as we'll be raising spotlight with the burning issues this morning.
We'll be right back.
Yo, what's up?
Do not touch that dial. You know the radio you tune to, it's your remedy dial, 93.9 Solutions FM. Your number one remedy dial. What's
nínú ẹgbẹ́ APC ló ti máa lọ nínú ẹgbẹ́ onígbàlẹ̀ ló ti máa lọ ohun dáadáa tó ti ṣe olóhùn ká rárá hospital tó mú wá o àgbáyanu ni ó tún ṣe náà sólà káàkiri ilé ìwé tó ti ṣe olóhùn ká rárá o ẹ jẹ́ ká sowọ́ wa pọ̀ ká dìbò fún un. Ẹ dìbò fún olóyè Teslim Kọ́láwọlé Fọlárìn sí ipò gómìnà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ lábẹ́ àsíá ẹgbẹ́ onígbàálẹ̀ APC. Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọwọ́ Sarafadeen Abiodun Ali Support Group Canada APC Progress. Àwa tí a fẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ gòkè àgbà Teslim Fọlárìn ló dìbò fún.
Keep it 93.9.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, welcome back. Exactly 29 minutes gone past 9. This is from the dailies, and we're looking at some of the issues we're being faced with from our national dailies, of course, right here on the Remedy Dial. My name is Victor Richard. Oladapo Kunubi is here with me. So let's get right into the burning issue. So which are we starting
I think the first case this morning is the partial compliance of commercial banks in dispensing the old 500 and 1,000 naira notes in Nigeria. And we're saying that few banks pay old 500, 1,000 naira on Monday, while some banks are still waiting, order from the CBN. However, the Supreme Court made a judgment last week. And the question we also need to ask is, now the judgment has been made. Some banks are doing partial and skeletal work, but what of the new Naira notes? Because these notes are meant to go side by side in Nigeria.
Well, I don't think that would be in order, since the Supreme Court has given an order for the circulation of the old currency.
Till December 31st.
Yes, we have rarity of the new ones. So I think what would come back, or what we would see, very much available in marketplaces or from the banks, would be the old Naira notes. Because if there were new currencies, then we wouldn't be having issues of cash crunch, as it were.
No, we don't have enough new Naira notes, right?
That's what I'm saying. So we wouldn't have that in circulation.
Yes, I understand you. So, but what I feel CBN should do, or banks should do, is, okay, for example, you want to withdraw 10,000 Naira. Add maybe 7,000 Naira of old Naira notes and new of 3,000 Naira notes, so that this two currencies, or the old and new, can run side by side, right? Those are the things we also need to look at here. But hey, we're still talking about the politics. March 11 is the governorship polls going down. The Nigerian police force, look at the front page of Punch newspaper, saying that 203 hoodlums arrested during presidential poll. Police. Well, Alkali Baba, who's the IG, has come out to tell his boys that, yes, you've all been commended, but what we need to do now is to get things right ahead of March 11 polls.
Most fundamentally, your excellent performance is clearly indicative of your compliance with my strategic and operational directive, which you have predicated on the change of the president, on the charge of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, to ensure a peaceful and secure electoral process, as well as a firm but apolitical disposition that will engender a free, fair, and credible 2023 general elections. For your loyalty, patriotism, sacrifice, and professionalism, I wish to use this forum to convey my sincere appreciation and commendation to you all seated here, and indeed to the entire Nigeria Police, and indeed to the entire Nigeria Police, the military, the intelligence community, and all other complementary services that supported us in the exercise. In so doing, however, I must be quick to remind you of the common saying that the reward of hard work is hard work. While we could utilize this gathering to re-energize or re-energize our operational plans and strengthen the attainment of our election security mandate, as we prepare for the governorship and the State House of Assembly general elections on March 11, 2023. I charge you all to recommit yourselves to national duty and sustain the high operational level that is attracting a broad commendation to the force, or for the force.
Alright, that's the voice of the IGP speaking with preparation for the forthcoming governorship polls, which is happening this Saturday. Still bordering on, the preparation for the election. INEC has also been on the headline regarding the configuration. Yes, the configuration of the BVAS. Now, the Supreme Court, no, not the Supreme Court, rather, the court has given orders to the party, the Labour Party and PDP to go through and scrutinize the electoral materials used for the presidential polls due to the discrepancies that were alleged and was recorded over the elections 2 Saturdays ago. And now INEC is saying that they want to configure the BVAS, and their reason is because so we can have a clean slate for the governorship poll. But the party are saying that if INEC does that, they would lose all the evidence they would have taken to court to appeal for or seek a redress. Now the question is, just like when you want to sign in into the Chrome, you can always create another, what do you call it now?
Another page?
No, on Chrome, like what we have on the system.
Another tab.
Another tab. So if that is done, I mean, no, that's not tab. Like on our news system, we have like different sessions.
You're another, like you're creating two admins.
Yeah,
on one page
exactly.
of the system.
So can that happen on the Beavers? See,
but I am not an INEC official, and I wasn't trained to work with INEC. You understand? But because I know our comrade Femi Olugbemi is with us this morning. We'll connect with him in the next few seconds here. And another question I also want to add to that is, hope this will not delay or postpone the governorship polls.
It's looking like it, because if the party members are proposing that INEC doesn't configure, and INEC is saying for all of us to have a clean slate so that you don't come pointing fingers at us, that we also had the election rigged. That's why they're proposing for that to happen.
Okay, well, there was a protest at the INEC office yesterday in Abuja. I mean, we had all the PDP chieftains there, including the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. But here is Comrade Femi Olugbemi this morning joining us virtually. Good morning, Comrade.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, comrade.
Mr.
Okunubi. Yes, thank you very much. I'm not from Osun State.
Thank you for joining us, comrade. Now, we've seen what is happening, or what happened in Abuja yesterday with the PDP, beginning a protest to seek redress for the discrepancies that were recorded in the presidential polls. We've also seen, the president-elect saying that Atiku should return to Dubai and forget politics. We've also seen cases as we prepare for the gubernatorial election. We're seeing, the party members saying that, Beavers should be configured. But INEC is saying they wouldn't want to do that. What's your disposition to all of these matters?
There's these speculations that maybe INEC they postpone governorship election. We are not sure. Maybe we are thinking the process of configuring of Beavers takes time. So if we do that, I think they may postpone this weekend election. But if they want to do it in a normal as usual, they may not. Maybe for the better, for INEC to please agree parties, they need to do exactly what they promised Nigerians in the last 3 months, that they are going to people, everything will be posted on server. They promised Nigerians that the transmission of results will be shown to them so that it is very easy for them to monitor. So that's what Nigerians are asking for, and they should do that exactly in governorship.
Okay.
For Atiku needs to go and retire from politics. He has right, but now he should have a successor who he should support. For now, he should go and retire. It is normal to protest. It is normal to show your grievances to INEC and Nigerians. And those who do not vote for him, you need to do that. But for now, Nigerians, let us concentrate on the governorship election. You should go and sit down somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, we've had presidents from different countries who, they had like several times that they, contested and never won, but eventually they did. Maybe Atiku is towing that line. We wouldn't know. But do you think that INEC is prepared for this election? That's the gubernatorial election. If the party members continues with their bid to have INEC not configure the Beavers, do you see a possibility of these elections being postponed?
There's possibility of postponement of this election because there's small pressure on INEC. They are hacking because they don't want what actually happened during presidential election to happen again. So they want INEC to give them free and fair elections. Where it's very easy for them to monitor. Where it's very easy for them to figure out each polling unit and what is on the server. So that's what they are asking for. And for INEC to do that, they will need at least a week or 2 weeks.
If it is a week or 2 weeks to plan, that means we should be expecting more reactions to come, because for the governorship candidates as well, they may also have one or two things to say. But let's move away from politics a bit and let's talk about what is currently happening. The grounds Nigerians are facing, a lot of pains. A lot of people were at banks yesterday, and look at the headlines we have on pages of Nigerian newspapers this morning, which is concerning the Naira scarcity. Front page of the Nation: Naira scarcity lingers despite Supreme Court's judgment. It's like maybe CBN is bigger than the Supreme Court, or federal government is bigger than the Supreme Court, or Nigerians are confused. They don't know what to do. Some banks gave out old 1,500 Naira notes yesterday. However, some business owners are rejecting that same money from banks. So are we saying here that Nigerians are just on their own? What do you think CBN should do?
If you look at the rule of law in Nigeria, it is just a pity that there is no respect for rule of law. And we are talking about democracy. There is no way you will not respect rule of law. But this administration has shown Nigerians that there is no respect for rule of law. How can a Supreme Court, the highest court in the country, made pronouncement and judgment concerning the new Naira notes, and federal government did not address the issue? The same thing with CBN. They kept quiet concerning the issue. That is the reason why most of the banks, they find it difficult to obey the people or the federal government. The Nigerians are suffering. No money to spend. The only few money in circulation is what people are managing, collecting from friends, collecting from petrol station, and so on and so forth. No money in banks again, because nobody are paying in again. Nobody, bank is not paying out again. And the CBN, they are so, I don't know the reason. It is they are frustrating Nigerians. Even if it is old money, release this old money.
That's what the Supreme Court is saying.
Even if you want to do transfer now, it is very, very difficult.
Yes, I know some banks.
Very difficult.
Yes.
I don't have to mention the name.
We don't need to mention. We don't need to mention the name of the bank.
It is very frustrating. You want to purchase something now, to do transfer is very, very difficult. They are frustrating us. Everything is not even working here. I am thinking maybe this country is a cost nation. I'm sorry to say that.
Comrade, before we allow you go, few weeks back, where we saw protests in different states, Ogun, Osun, Oyo here, even in the east, but we didn't get there was no really, protest in the north, which I did not see. But to avoid breakdown of law and order, what do you think CBN federal government should do in the next few days?
I think they should obey Supreme Court order. They should give us our old notes. People have been shouting that, give us our old notes. They should obey Supreme Court order. They should try to listen to the voices of Nigerians. Nigerians are saying we need our old notes. Give us back our old notes. This is very, very simple. If you want to avoid vote buying, there is a way in which you can do that.
Okay.
It is not necessary you sabot before you do that. They should release the old notes and let us enjoy our money.
All right. Thank you very much, Comrade Femi Olugbemi, for joining us this morning, and we hope you get cash also very soon.
Yes, I pray so.
It's sad that we have to make it a prayer to get money that you worked hard for.
Seeing queues here,
it's ridiculous.
I commend some POS operators who are, dispensing money the right way, not the ones who will tell you to bring 300 naira to get 1,000 naira.
You wouldn't even blame these guys for the exorbitant charges,
because
to be honest.
Buy notes as well.
Because yes, there was a headline on one of the papers saying that people now pay money to bankers to get money. Now they're complaining that they don't have enough of the cash. That CBN hasn't disbursed cash to the banks. So the ones that the POS guys have, where are they getting the money from? was cash stacked up somewhere. Where are the monies coming from? All right, it's time for us to know your thoughts regarding some of these stories this morning. The numbers to call are 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Good morning to you. Welcome to From the Dailies.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Balkis.
Balkis Oladiyan from Ibadan.
Thank you for joining us. Let's have your take.
Thank you. Regarding your last statement, it is true. POS operators pay bankers to get money. For example, if they want to get 50,000 naira, they will pay 7 or 5,000 naira. So they are selling those notes to them. So we cannot totally blame those POS operators.
Balkis, please try and call back.
We'll love to hear the continuance of that. Hello, good morning to you.
Oh, we lost that call.
0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Kemi.
Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kemi.
Yeah, this is Ruth calling from.
Oh, Ruth. Why do you guys sound alike? Okay. Ruth, let's have your take.
Okay. No, the silence of Mr. President and the CBN on the Supreme Court judgment really shows you don't respect the rule of law. Because as I said today, I went to bank and they gave me old notes. I said I can't collect it because Mr. President is yet to address us. So he addressed us and said the old notes is not legal tender. It's not used. So I will urge Mr. President and CBN, they should please address us. Because this something is too much on women the masses. So many businesses are collapsing already. So their failure to do the needful is all. That's why we are experiencing all this. They should do the needful, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, she was given old notes and she rejected it.
But I mean,
so now people prefer to listen to Mr. President and CBN governor than
would you blame them?
The judgment of the court.
This is not the first time the Supreme Court is, giving orders, and the CBN and the federal government did not adhere to it. Yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Kemi coming from Akura.
Welcome, Kemi.
And performed below expectations in this previous election, but I hope they will not allow their losses and won't allow the mistake they made play out in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. I will urge the masses to move vows en masse and vote in a credible leader that has been serving well in the state. Good morning, Kemi calling from Akubo.
Thank you very much, Kemi from
Straight to
Akubo.
the point.
0909-888-9939, 0912-222-2939, 0912-222-2939, or 0909-888-9939. Those are the lines you need to call this morning to be part of the program. Remember, we're also live on Facebook, facebook.com/solutions939 FM.
All right, we'll be taking your messages right now. Be sure to send them via WhatsApp or regular text to 0904-422-2939. All right, let's begin with this one. Ayodele Damilala says, good morning. CBN should print more notes, but we have been saying this since January and nothing seems to change. I think something is wrong with the conceptualization of the policy, not even the execution, as we have been thinking. Targeting and trying the policy majorly to vote buying in concept hugely affects its egalitarian implementation. Okay, that's a lot. I'm trying to understand your thought, but I think we get that. Omadi Adekunle says, since Mr. President and the CBN governor have not talked about the court order as regards the old notes, definitely the old notes are still not legal tender. I would just urge them to please obey the court order this time, so that the Naira crisis being experienced under Buhari's administration can become minimal, because this new Naira notes policy is affecting businesses and is inflicting more hardships on the masses. What a disappointing government. I mean, it's really sad that people are saying they will have to adhere to the president. Yes, we know he's the number one citizen, but the Supreme Court is, goodness, God have mercy. Abiola Omotosho says, good morning to you. We still can access cash. Banks are not opening. No network to make transfers. And our thoughts were after the presidential elections, the issue of naira scarcity will end. But it seems nothing is changing. The hardship is much on the masses. After the court's judgment on the old notes, Mr. President and Emefiele have not addressed to Nigerians, and new notes are not in full circulation yet. Oluwaseun Road says, good morning to you, Victory and Dapo. A policy that should succeed must be national in its framing and implementation, but it's obvious the government at the center and the CBN has failed to put meaningful measures in place before the implementation. By now, Nigerians would have gotten out of this if they have bowed to the Supreme Court's judgment. I urge them to do the needful because so many businesses are collapsing due to the failure on the cashless policy. Adironke Adikorede says, good morning to you in the studio. Even if banks comply with Supreme Court order, will it ease the current naira problem? I think it would. I don't think so. Anyway, the problems people are facing now is the withdrawal limit. Why did the federal government or the governor not sue the federal government, CBN, AGF to recirculate the old 500, 1,000 notes and also to withdraw the withdrawal limit policy? Because the stress to get the notes is cumbersome, and if not for the free boss the Oyo State government is giving, which I'm benefiting from, that would have there's a lot of mishap here, but I think I get your point. You're saying because of the free boss that you're experiencing in Oyo State, it has eased your transport fare for your daily activities. Thank you so much. Olanka Aditola says, the last general election results showed that our votes count. So let's come out massively in the forthcoming governorship election and vote wisely, especially here in Oyo State. The antecedents and personality of the candidate should be considered before voting. May good governance continue in the state by God's grace. Bossade Favor says, beautiful morning to you, Mr. Dakbon. Victory. It's about time for Nigerians to make their choice of leaders in the state level again. And we, the good people of Oyo State, having enjoyed good governance for 4 years in our ramification. Okay, thank you, Bossade, for that.
Okay, so from here we wrap up the show because we'll have a paid job coming up next. Well, with this, we'd like to say a very big thank you to those who contributed on the show. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. My name is Oladapo Okunubi.
My name is Victory Richard. Have yourself a productive Tuesday. Good morning.